The AI corporation are at war, and we need to understand what's going on with this IPO and the bubble that is about to burst. Because the two things are connected. But also, there is another risk that they are going through, all of them, they're not considering, but it's massive for us as an individual, as a small businesses, because now we are gonna go into a phase where local AI is gonna make more and more sense. Let me explain first about this bubble to burst. So, how does it work? Basically, there is a real price, okay, something that is connected to reality, the real value of something. And then there is the narrative that push the price up. Okay, the narrative is connected to what this corporation will achieve in the future, and therefore, because of that future, the value today is higher than reality. So, just to make it clear, for example, building over on Mars, building those data center in space. Okay, we don't know how to do it. Nobody knows how to do it, but that is the plan, and therefore, because that is the plan, the value of today is higher. And in the case of AI, is this idea of not just solving the data center, but it's also building this AGI, okay, artificial general intelligence, the AI that can replace human, building the artificial super intelligence, an intelligence that will resolve every single problem from cancers to anything. Okay, this is the promise. Okay, so what's the price of something like this? It's huge, it's enormous. Okay, resolve every single problem. It's huge. Replace every single human at work with robots and so on. It's massive. Going to Mars, data center in the space, collecting all the energy from the sun is huge. Okay, and this is why we see those corporations filing IPOs for trillion, for $1 trillion. This is more, much more than a country. Okay, with all the people working there and so on, this is much more. Okay, so those corporations are really flying extremely high. This connection between what they are asking, telling us they will build and so on, what is the reality today, is massive. The gap is huge. So the market will correct. Okay, it's just about when. But now there is something that is happening. There is soon is going to be an incentive to actually to burst the bubble and get this correction. Let me explain why this is going to happen. So we know the massive war between Elon Musk and Altman. Now, what is the strategy? Okay, the first one that go into the IPO has an incentive, which is I get the money for the IPO, I burst the bubble, so my competitor won't get the money, and I will survive this, and the other will suffer like insane. So now, if Elon Musk is the first and Anthropic is the second, all good for Elon Musk. Okay, we'll say, okay, Anthropic is my client, so we go ahead. And then we burst the bubble, and OpenAI won't get the investment needed to survive. So that is what is possible. This is something that it's likely to happen. I mean, depend who's going to be the first, okay? But that is war. That is how they manage this reality, because they show us that they don't care about anything. They just care about themselves and to win this market. So, what else is happening here? There are OpenAI filing for $1 trillion IPO. A company that loses $2 for every $1 that they make. Okay, it's basically going really, really bad. Really, really bad. So investors see this like as a, okay, but at one point we need to make money. Okay, at one point we need to recoup. So think about if they need at least to double the price. Okay, your double subscription, instead of 20, 40, instead of 100, 200, instead of 200, 400 per month, that is your subscription, just to go even. Then they need to make money. Okay, so the difficulties of actually making money from those tokens is hard. Okay, so the competition is incredible. So what is gonna be happening that those corporations are gonna make really little profit over those tokens, because the alternative, it's incredible. What is the alternative? It's we saw DeepSeek, Minimax, and and others presenting those AI that can run on smaller hardware, much cheaper, and achieve 80, 90% of what is possible with those frontier model at 80% less cost. Okay, so the gap is not 80% actually, 8 times cheaper. It's the gap is huge. So in most scenario, most people, in most cases, they don't need this high level frontier model. Okay, something that is cheaper, 8 times cheaper, is much better. Okay, and something that actually can I can run locally, it's even better. Unlimited token. No need any of my data again sent around and so on. Okay, there is so much advantage, and the price to run even something like Minimax that at the moment apparently from the benchmark that benchmark it's you can't really trust those things. You need to work on them and then see. But through the benchmark, we know the Minimax it might be the best open source model, and this model is not that huge. Okay, almost any uh, semi-professional hardware can run it at a decent speed. That makes sense. So think about spending for 8,000, around the $8,000. You can have these Minimax running locally. For a company, it's nothing. Okay, it's a fixed cost, easy to accept, and it's not the you know $500,000 that will be soon for those corporations. And therefore, now, how can you justify that kind of model? What those corporations are doing is they connect their model with the harnesses. So it's a software they manage the model. Okay, and because they are building those software that are really good, and for every competitors to build something as good is not easy, and to build at the speed that they are doing is not easy. They at the moment they sell this package that blocks you, locks you in their ecosystem. That is all. Everybody's doing this thing. Okay, so we see Codex with OpenAI. We see Open Code, no Cloud Code with Anthropic. They offer serious good deal. Let's say those $200, but whatever subscription they do, actually is a good deal if you think about how much it really cost, and with a harness that is extremely important, extremely well built. There is no easy to find a better alternative out there. There are, but then you need to pay full price for those models. So, for example, you have Windsurf, an alternative that can work with different kind of models, but then you need to pay full price for API. So it costs more if you want to use, for example, Opus. It will cost you more to use it through Windsurf than through Cloud Code. Much, much more. So that is how they're trying to deal with this. But the truth here is that this is something that they have today in this scenario. Okay, but we know that more AI is going to be better and more it's going to be easier to reach them, because the fact that for them it takes a lot of months to get to at one point, but then they give us an AI that is capable of doing that all work in a few weeks, so we can catch up. Now they have those few weeks to build something bigger. Okay, and they are good at it, and they have unlimited tokens, so they are moving faster ahead. This is the reason why. But there is another element to consider. There is a business model that needs to change for us to actually be able to interact with this reality that going at this speed. Because the problem here is, if I'm sure you're one of those, okay, one of those people that are building your own AI system, okay, your own harness, because you're not happy about what is out there. It makes sense, okay? You're not happy, you're building your own. Now with AI, it's possible, so you're doing this. So each one of us is doing exactly the same thing. Corporations are doing exactly the same thing. But there is a problem that each one of us is stuck building this bottom layer, because this is the most hard one to build. And it needs require time to maintain, time to build, and so on. This is the strategic error that we are all doing. Okay, building each one of us the same thing, just because we want to have it, because we want to own it. Now, think about different business model. We all co-own the same one. And what we can do now, build on top. Okay, this is better than open source because open source, you don't own it. Okay, it's not yours, you don't control it. Instead, if we start together, build a system that is co-owned by each one of us, corporations and individuals and so on, charities, anyone can have the same base layer. Now each one of us has the freedom to build on top, and we remove ourselves from the problem of maintaining and building the most powerful base layer. Now, because we can, as a multi, community, I mean, a community with different idea, different needs, and different perspective, and so on, we can build an incredible amount of variety on top of this. So at that level, we become unbeatable. So it is a business problem and can be resolved in a creative business approach. So can be easily done through a DAO, okay, decentralized autonomous organization. So a community that is co-owned about the product, that co-own the product. So I'm building this, okay, already exists, already there is 1,400 plus people inside this community. And I want to invite you to consider this. If you're building something, instead of building you in isolation, build together, co-own it, and participate in building the base layer for each one of us. Then you can build on top. Each one of us is going to build on top. And this building on top is an economy. Okay, each one of us will have, I don't know, some elements that are going to be open source. Okay, some other elements that are going to be, for example, for hire. You rent this part of the code. Okay, and that is how we can build together at much higher speed. We can collaborate. So your company can collaborate with a different company and so on. And then the investment is co-owned. Can you see the difference here? So instead of getting locked into something that you might be able to build or not, you might fail, you might don't have the energy to look after it, let's build something together. Now, if we do this, first of all, we can go faster than them, okay? Because they might resolve a specific problem, okay? What they're gonna look at is the major thing, okay? The most important part. But because that is one action capture a lot of clients. But in our case, we have majority of the clients actually are outside that element. Okay, so we can work with diversity in all those different elements and become so specialized in creating, I call them add-ons, okay? So because those are add-ons to the base layer. So each one of us can build those add-ons and create something that's specific that solves the problem. Because we work on blockchain technology, then it's going to be easy for agents to hire each other work, okay, each other part of the code. And in that system where it's an economy that it's fast, clear, transparent, and you co-own it, you can't be beaten. Why would you go to a corporation like those large corporation and spend money that to something that you don't co-own? Okay, they just take your data, your money to build their own system. Why? You can keep everything in your one, and each one of us will contribute and make something bigger. To me, it's pretty simple, but it requires a different business model. And this is the business model that can be achieved through decentralization, through DAO. If you're interested in doing something like this, if you want to build with us, there is a link in the description. There are a few links in the description. Okay, one link is to join the Discord. These 1,400 plus people in the community. Second, there is going to be a deep dive article where you can read more and understand more data about what I explained today in today's video. There is also the link for this software that we're building. It's called Resonant OS. If you want to know more, today there is a meeting in every day of the week, okay, Monday to Friday. We have a call within our community. We meet on Zoom and we discuss. Today call, it is about Resonant OS. Okay, so you will see what it is, how it works. You can talk with the developer. I offer yourself to participate and ask how to, contribute and build on top of it. So I'm looking forward to see you in this call, and thanks for staying until the end. Again, like and subscribe. Watch the next video, and see you later. Ciao.